Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
Mr. Let's go on and have the conversation.
I'm just asking you whether or not it was a coincidence.
Had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal. I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back. I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
Is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No.
Sure.
But I'm sure we'll talk about it further.
No, we're not going to talk about it further.
All right, no back and forth. Let's stay down. Next question.
And then he tells me how much it is, and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. Whatever it is, I didn't ever make him produce receipts to me. Whatever he told me it was, I gave him the money back. Isn't it?
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the bombshell, but disastrous, Fani Willis and Nathan Wade evidentiary hearing that happened today to explore the dynamics of their sexual relationship, in which they both admitted that Nathan Wade was Fani while on trips funded and paid for by taxpayer dollars.
We need a yes or no. Let's just get down to it. Did you or did you not, by May the 30th, 2023, have had sexual relations with Miss Willis, yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
And this could possibly present a conflict of interest that could get Miss Fani Willis and her office disqualified from the Trump RICO case. Now, in order to actually figure out if there's a conflict of interest, there's a few key details and facts that we need to figure out, okay? And that is the point of this evidentiary hearing. One of them being the timeline of the relationship. Now, Miss Fani Willis and Nathan Wade have sworn under oath that the relationship didn't begin until after they started working on the Trump RICO case. However, during his testimony, Fani Willis's friend actually testified that this relationship had begun before they started working on the Trump case, which is a bombshell revelation that suggests that Miss Fani Willis and Nathan Wade lied under oath about the timeline of their relationship. Take a look.
Left the DA's office, was it, were you fired?
No, I resigned.
You resigned, okay. Can you tell us why you resigned the DA's office?
The number of things that was happening.
A number of things that were happening, is that what you said, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. What was happening that caused you to resign?
It was a spiral of things. So, I guess the last straw is I was put in a department that I knew had no knowledge about. Something happened, and I didn't like it. They didn't like it, and that was it.
Okay. Did you have any falling outs with Miss Willis?
Well, we never spoke after that.
You never spoke after that, okay. And so you're, without going into all the painstaking details, there is no doubt in your mind that from 2019 until 2022, Miss Willis and Mr. Wade were in a romantic relationship.
What's the question?
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her?
No doubt.
Okay. And that's based on your personal observations and speaking with them and seeing them together and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. No other questions. Thank you. The other folks may have some.
Yeah, so bombshell testimony there from the witness who basically confirmed that, hey, yeah, these two, they were in a relationship long before the Trump RICO case began. And this was such a bombshell revelation that even MSNBC had to admit that it is basically game over for Miss Fani Willis based off the direction that this hearing is going in. Take a look.
A minute, but Caroline, we've all been watching this, and it's so legalistic centric and yet so important and fascinating.
Right. Don't let the legalese fool you. This is epic. This is monumental. If things are going in the direction we think, Fani Willis lied to the court, it's game over for her. She will be disqualified. If they had a relationship prior to when they represented to the court, it's a huge deal. I can't overstate it.
And do you feel the same way, Charles, based on the testimony of what we just heard? And we just learned Nathan Wade, who is the special prosecutor in this case, walked in the courtroom. He is being sworn in to testify now about this issue and his relationship with Fani Willis. Let's listen.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, MSNBC legal analyst, lawyer says, hey, it's game over. This woman lied to the court about the timeline of their relationship, okay? And essentially that could mean that she will be disqualified from the case. And if she's disqualified from the case, then her office is disqualified. And at that point, the whole case could fall apart. Now, here comes Mr. Nathan Wade, who is going to contradict the witness by testifying that, yes, I met Miss Fani Pack Willis in 2019. However, I did not start packing her fanny until after we began to work on the Trump case, in which he claims that these trips that he took with Miss Fani Willis, he paid for the trips with his business credit card using taxpayer funds, and he got reimbursed for this by Miss Fani Willis with cash.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When in 2022?
Early 2022.
So you were appointed in November of 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And your relationship started early. What's early? January? February?
Around March.
Around March. But you two met at an October 2019 judicial conference, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That testimony directly contradicts earlier testimony from one of Willis's former good friends who said the relationship began well before Wade testified it did and predated his hearing by the DA.
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her?
No doubt.
Did you observe them do things that are common among people having a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Such as, can you give us an example?
Hugging, kissing, just affection.
All before November 1st of 2021, correct?
Yes.
You said in the affidavit that you roughly shared travel, though, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this roughly sharing travel, you're saying she reimbursed you?
She did.
And where did you deposit the money she reimbursed you?
I was cash. She didn't give me any checks.
So she paid you cash for her share of all these vacations?
Mr. Schaefer, you'll step out if you do that again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so all of the vacations that she took, she paid you cash for?
Yes, ma'am.
And you purchased all of these vacations on your business credit card, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you included those in deductions on your taxes, correct?
No, ma'am.
No, you did not. So in 2023, December, you said you didn't have any receipts.
I do not have any receipts. I did not have any receipts.
But you did travel with Miss Willis in 2023, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2022, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2021, correct?
No.
So you only traveled with her in 2022 and 2023?
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
That's what you recall?
Yes.
Okay. So you just don't remember if you traveled with her in 2021?
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
Is what you recall. My question is, did you travel with her in 2021?
I'm not recalling any travel in 2021.
So it's not yes or no, you just don't remember?
I'm not recalling any travel in 2021.
So you did not travel with her in 2021?
No, but this has been covered. Let's keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, Mr. Wade mysteriously can't recall if he actually was traveling with Fani Willis in 2021, but he knows for sure that the relationship didn't begin until 2022. Okay, but he can't recall whether or not he traveled with her in 2021. Again, it's kind of amazing how that works. If the relationship didn't begin until 2022, then you would think he would just say, no, I didn't travel with her in 2021 because the relationship didn't begin until 2022. So why would I travel with somebody I didn't have a relationship with? Hey, it is what it is, right? So now up next is Miss Fanny Pack, who decided to testify despite there being speculation that she wouldn't do it, okay? But she decided to take the stand anyways and tell her side of the story. And what a lot of her side of the story focused on is this alleged cash reimbursement to Mr. Nathan Wade, okay? She alleges that, hey, I gave him cash. However, there's no proof that she actually really reimbursed Mr. Nathan Wade. And the reason why she's so adamant about saying that she reimbursed Mr. Nathan Wade, because she didn't reimburse Nathan Wade, then it would suggest that she benefited from these taxpayer-funded trips that Mr. Nathan Wade used his business credit card to pay for, okay? And again, she is saying that I paid in cash, even though she doesn't have any real proof or evidence that she actually really paid him back in cash. Take a look.
Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba, yeah, I gave him his money before we ever went on that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, would you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM?
No.
Okay. So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank?
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there?
When you meet my father, he's going to tell you as a woman, you should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we were growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house. So my father's bought me a lockbox, and I always keep cash in the house. Now, I don't do it to the degree that my father would do it, so he would probably be ashamed with me, but I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep cash as good in my purse like I used to. I don't go on many dates, but when you go on a date, you should have cash in your pocket.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from, if it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. I've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that. Like, to tell you I just have cash in my house, I don't have as much today as I would normally have, but I'm building back up now. So you just put money in. It's a very good practice. I would advise it to all women.
So you can't identify when you came into this cash or where the cash came from?
I didn't say I couldn't identify it. No, nobody gives me anything. I am sure that the source of the money is always the work, sweat, and tears of me. What you asked me for is, when did the money go in there? What I am trying to tell you is, so I got divorced in 2005 from my husband. No, it's important. You said, where did the money come from? And I need to tell you where the money came from. And so for many, many years, I have kept money in my house. That money in my worst days has probably only been $500 or $1,000. At my best days, I probably had $15,000 in my house at cash. At all times, there's going to be cash in my house or wherever I'm laying my head.
The money that you paid Mr. Wade, the cash, in October of 2022, you do not know where that money came from?
I do know where it came from. It came from my sweat and tears.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, this is what it's going to come down to, right? It's really going to come down to whether or not the judge believes Miss Fani Willis's testimony and Mr. Nathan Wade's testimony that she reimbursed him in cash, okay? Because their testimonies are consistent in regards to Mr. Nathan Wade being reimbursed with cash. They clearly and obviously were in a sexual relationship. Now, the timeline of that relationship contradicts what the witness is saying, okay? But their testimony that they're giving it is consistent. However, the witness is saying, no, this relationship started way back before the Trump case began. But regardless, again, it's going to come down to whether or not you actually really believe that on these, 5 or 6 separate vacations that they went on together, that Fani Willis decided to pay him back in cash on all of those trips, right? That is what she's saying. And I'm not sure exactly who believes that or who would believe that. But again, it's up to the judge. Me personally, I don't believe it, right? I definitely believe that they're lying. I think they're lying about the timeline of the relationship. I definitely think that he was those cheeks way before, right, the Trump trial began. I think that they got together and they came up with a lie, okay? And this is the lie that they're telling. And, it is what it is, okay? So I don't know. I mean, I personally don't think this is believable. Now, again, the bar here is high in regards to actually disqualifying Miss Fani Willis. So it could go either way. I personally think, to the common sense person, from a common sense perspective, she clearly and obviously has a conflict of interest. She's clearly and obviously corrupt, along with Mr. Nathan Wade. But from a legal perspective, I just simply don't know. I'm not a lawyer, right? I just believe that it's going to come down to what the judge believes in regards to whether or not, Miss Fani Willis actually did pay back Mr. Nathan Wade for those trips that were funded by taxpayer dollars. Now, again, the cash is untraceable, okay, because she claims that she had cash laying around her house because of her daddy or something like that. Ridiculous, right? Outside of that, it really is a shame and embarrassing that this woman is prosecuting the former president of the United States. I mean, she revealed herself to be the stereotypical black woman, ghetto, very unprofessional, out of control, loud, okay, attitude, all of that, okay? So, hey, it is what it is, but it is a pretty funny show, okay? It is very entertaining, to say the least. We will see what comes of it. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.